some emotion, and certainly, as everybody concedes, this is central to the your overall budget and personnel costs. Your opinion now, let's just run the list here. Overpaid, underpaid, or fairly compensated? Teachers in this district, do you think they're overpaid, underpaid, or fairly compensated? Since Andy was complaining about the class, it can be personal.
I don't have all the data. I don't have all the data in front of me.
Okay.
That's kind of a cop-out answer. I think based on the results that we've got, that we've seen in the past years, we've been talking a lot about finances, and barely a mention about education here. Some people throw out this AYT here, which I think is an unfair comment, and I want to straighten out that comment too. The reason the district doesn't make, can you hear me?
Speak up.
Okay, sorry about that. How's that? I'm a rock star. The reason the district didn't make AYT was because of a couple subgroups, special ed and English language learners. And by all means, the district should be striving to get every group improving and up to the standards that we can, but there are limits to how far we can go on there with limited spending. We don't have unlimited spending. We can't focus all our money on just those two groups. We have to deal with all the groups in the schools. The other scores are very good. So when you ask me whether the teacher salaries are overpaid, underpaid, all I know is that the teachers have been providing a very good education here. And so based on that, I think they're getting paid already. Okay?
Fairly compensated. All right, I'll take it. Synthesize it for you. Laura, where are you going?
My opinion is I believe the teachers are, their pay itself is fairly compensated. I think they do get a fair pay. The issue that I have is with their benefits package a little bit, because it doesn't seem to be what everybody else gets in society. I think $40 for single coverage and $110 for family coverage is a little low at the taxpayer's expense, because we're making up that difference. So that would be about the only issue that I would have with their pay, would be a little bit more compensation for the benefits.
Thank you. Sue.
I would say that I would like for teachers to be paid more. I believe that they are fairly compensated for this economic time. I would like to have teachers' salaries, though we don't want to have something to compare it to. Illinois Association of School Board website and the Illinois School Report Card are one means to measure, and by that measurement, our teachers are underpaid. I just want to segue off of what Andy said about AYP. No Child Left Behind is an unfunded federal mandate that is a data-driven way to assess schools. Unfortunately, in some small categories based on enrollment in certain groups, we did not meet AYP. So the statement that we didn't make AYP in two small groups does not reflect at all on the education or the caliber of learning that's going on in 113A. It's only within a few subgroups. Anyone who studied No Child Left Behind, we knew this time was coming. We thought it would be repealed by now. We knew eventually all schools would get to the point where they couldn't reach AYP. We finally hit that point.
I think, in years prior, they were adequately funded. I think with the class sizes that they're facing now, it's a much, much tougher work environment that they're going through. So I'd say probably they're a little underpaid based on the way things are now, but up till now, they've been adequately funded. Thank you.
I defer to my previous statement. And are we attracting good teachers? Of course, now we're not hiring, but we've been keeping them, none are fighting to get out. I do believe they are fairly compensated right now, and we are getting a lot for our money.
Cynthia Keller.
Is that?
I agree with Dave. Luckily, the teachers love our kids. So for them to step up and have all these extra kids in their classrooms, I haven't really heard much, I haven't heard any complaints from them. But it's very stressful when you go and there's a sub and you have these 40 faces looking at you. I was in Old Quarry the other day in an 8th grade classroom, and it's a whole different experience, I must say. Those kids are big, they take up a lot of room, and there wasn't a whole lot of room for me to even walk around the classroom. Are they undercompensated? No, they're not. They earn every penny that they make, especially this last year. Thank you.
Jen Hughes.
Yes, I think the teachers are fairly compensated. They have a wonderful benefits package. But I'm concerned about the administration, because the administrators right now get their health insurance paid for by us, the taxpayers. They do not pay into their pension. They do not pay anything into their health insurance costs. And I do think that we really need to take a good hard look at how we are compensating the administrators and the teachers, and have it more in line with what's going on in the private sector. Thanks.
Thank you. Jordan Bradley.
The average salaries, in my mind, don't make much sense. The teachers are paid based on a salary schedule, and they're placed on the salary schedule based on their experience and their education. So if you hire a doctorate person with first year salary schedule, they get put in at whatever appropriate level they are in the first step. If you hire a brand new graduate with a BA, they're going to be at the lowest level and in the very first step. So as time goes on, then they get additional steps for each year that they're within the district. So it's scheduled as to where the people will be. But if you take another district like, say, Oak Brook, where they may have all doctorates, people with doctorate degrees and been there for 10 years, their salaries are going to be higher average than if we have somebody here that's scattered all over the salary schedule with low, medium, high, long, and short terms. So we'll have just as good teachers, because they're going to teach the way they think should be, their teaching should be done. But our salary will be probably much lower than those on an average where you have the doctorate degree people teaching in Oak Brook. I just wanted to make that clear on average salary, so be careful in saying what averages do for you, for your district. The other thing I wanted to say is, answering the question of are they underpaid, fairly compensated, or overpaid. If they thought they were underpaid, this is not me thinking that, but if they thought they were underpaid, they'd probably be seeking a position someplace else or a different type of work or whatever. They must be considering themselves fairly compensated. I'm not making these decisions, but they must be feeling themselves fairly compensated if they continue to stay in the district.
Thank you. Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I basically agree. I think our teachers are fairly compensated. I would echo some of what Dwayne said about some of the simplification of the contract, some of the lane changes, and also bracketing. I would simplify that, simplify the contract for the pay is more appropriate for towards the result of the teaching. So, but I do believe the teachers are fairly paid.
Thank you. Just another question.